Hi everyone, today we're making a delicious Malaysian style fish curry which is rich in flavor and easy to make, served commonly with Roti Prata or Roti Canai here in Malaysia and Singapore. A very popular recipe that has been requested on my channel quite a few times, so let's get cooking. First off, we're going to soak a small lime-sized portion of tamarind pulp in a small bowl of boiled water. Add about half a cup of boiled hot water. So we're just going to leave that in the hot water. You can set it aside. Now here we have 350 to 400 grams of fish cubes. These are boneless cubes of kingfish or seerfish that I have here. You can use any fish you like. We also have one medium onion that has been sliced, and one large ripe red tomato that has also been sliced. We have 8 shallots as well as 3 large cloves of garlic. Now we're going to add the peeled shallots and the garlic cloves to a small grinder, and we're just going to grind that to a paste. So by the time you set up all those ingredients, our tamarind has been soaking in the hot liquid for a while. We can strain it to remove the seeds and all the pulp. So this is the tamarind solution that we will be using later. Next, we need 4 to 5 tablespoons of fish curry powder. If you have your own favorite brand of Malaysian style fish curry powder, you can use that, or you can check out my previous video on how to make a homemade Malaysian style fish curry powder, linking to that in the description box below. So you just want to add a little bit of water to the fish curry powder in a small bowl. Add just enough water to make this into a smooth paste. And you don't want to add too much water and make it really dilute. You want to have somewhat thick consistency. Let's get cooking. I'm adding 5 tablespoons of sunflower oil to a clay pot here. If you don't have a clay pot, you can use a regular nonstick pot, or you can use a wok as well. So we're just going to let the oil heat up here. And separately, I've heated up a cast iron pan, and once the pan is nice and hot, I'm adding about a teaspoon of oil, and then we're going to add those sliced tomatoes. So we're going to fry these tomatoes on a very high flame. Keep tossing them on a high flame to soften the tomatoes, and if you can, get in some flaming action. By doing so, we're adding umami to the dish. And later when we add these tomatoes to the curry, it intensifies the flavor. So this is optional. You can always just add the raw tomatoes at the cooking step. So our oil has heated up in the clay pot. To this we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seeds. These are black mustard seeds, as well as a pinch of fenugreek seeds. Fenugreek seeds are an essential spice when making authentic fish curries. So you want to make sure the oil is nice and hot before you add those mustard seeds, and wait for them to pop before you add a handful of fresh curry leaves for that fresh aroma, as well as the sliced onions. Sauté the onions briefly and then add the ground shallot and garlic paste, and continue to sauté well till it starts changing golden in color. Now this will take about a minute on medium heat. Just keep stirring, and you'll find that raw pungency of the garlic and the shallots gets mellow as it cooks down. Now by this time our tomatoes have really cooked down soft to a paste consistency. We can add this to the clay pot at this point once the mixture has turned nice and golden, like you see here. This is when we're going to add those fried tomatoes, and as I said before, you can always add fresh tomatoes straight to the clay pot or whatever pot you're cooking in, and just continue to cook until the tomatoes continue to soften and get mashed to a pulp. Add a good splash of hot water and allow to simmer briefly. Next, we're going to add the fish curry powder mixed with water. We're going to add this spice mixture and stir through. We also want to wash out that curry paste bowl with about a cup of water and add this as well. Now we're going to cook till the oil separates and appears on top. Once the oil has separated on top, as you can see here, we can add a little bit of hot water as needed. to dilute the curry as well as the tamarind solution that we had prepared earlier. Now you're going to bring this to a boil and then reduce the heat. At this stage, we're going to simmer for 7 minutes, adding more hot water if you need to. We haven't added the fish yet. You want to simmer this curry base for 7 minutes for all the flavors to develop and mellow down before you add that fresh fish. So once that curry sauce has simmered for 7 minutes, we're also going to add half a cup of coconut milk. If you're using coconut cream, dilute it with half a quantity of water. Stir it well and then add to the curry and incorporate this by stirring. And make sure you don't add too much coconut milk here. Stir and simmer for another minute. Once again, I'm just going to add a splash of hot water to adjust that consistency. And now we can add salt to taste. Add about 1 teaspoon of salt to begin with. And once it comes back to a simmer, we can add the fish. Make sure your fish is rinsed once again just before you add it to the curry. Once the fish is added, you want to bring it back to a boil and then reduce the heat and simmer for 8 minutes till the fish is cooked. Approximately about halfway through cooking, about that 4-minute mark, we're going to add 1/4 to half a teaspoon of Asafoetida. Asafoetida or Ferula asafoetida is a dried sap or gum resin obtained from the roots of Ferula plants. It's commonly dried into a powder and is a commonly used ingredient in Indian cuisine and is referred to as hing. As a seasoning, Asafoetida is known for its strong, pungent odor, but this adds umami as once it's cooked, the odor transfers itself into a more palatable flavor and aroma, often being described similar to those of leeks, garlic, and onion. It is definitely a form of umami. So once the curry has simmered for 8 minutes, the fish is cooked and it is ready to be served. If you like to add lady's fingers to this dish, you can do so by adding 8 to 10 fresh lady's fingers over the top of the curry and then cover and cook for an additional 3 minutes. In Singapore and Malaysia, it is common to find vegetables like lady's fingers and eggplants in your fish curry. This curry is absolutely delicious with steamed white rice, or it is popularly served here with Roti Prata. I hope you enjoyed this regional video recipe. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.